One of the hot topics we keep hearing about all the time over and over again is nervous system regulation. And we hear about it because people are trying to sell you on different ways to regulate your nervous system. And these are important ways to regulate your nervous system. I want that to be clear. Breathwork, yoga, meditation, journaling, all sorts of things are important towards regulating your nervous system. But there is one thing that all of these are leaving out, and I want to share that with you today. My name is Jessica Frew, and I help women make decisions. I am an author, a coach, and a speaker, and I help you understand the conditioning that is keeping you stuck in your life or keeping you feeling small, leaning into people-pleasing so that you can lead a life that feels really good to you. And today we are going to talk about the one thing you are missing in nervous system regulation. And this is hugely important because over the years, what we have done is train our nervous system to be comfortable with living in chaos, with overperforming, of being productive without actually getting the results. Like doing the things is more important than how we feel. And we need to understand this because when we start regulating our nervous system, we start to feel incredibly uncomfortable in the deregulation, in not doing as much, in leaning into this nervous system that feels calm and cool because we are used to welcoming in all of that chaos. And one of the things that we miss is we talk about breath work and counseling and all of these things, and we keep piling on more things to help us regulate our nervous systems. But what we aren't doing is releasing things along the way. And yes, I understand breath work helps you release things in that moment, but in your day-to-day life, you need to also be releasing things. This is what I mean is you need to stop trying to do all of the things for everybody except yourself. And also you need to stop doing all of the things for yourself. You need to do less and be able to sit in that if you are going to have a regulated nervous system moving forward. If you want to maintain that state you feel after coming out of a yoga class or a meditation or any of these things or an activation, I like activations, then you need to understand how to do less in your day-to-day life so that you aren't constantly sending yourself into the spiral of being overactivated or having an overactivated nervous system. And so how you do that goes back to picking one thing at a time that you're going to release in your life. Or maybe you want to take an overhaul of things and just get rid of a whole bunch of stuff all at once and kind of sit in that discomfort because it is going to feel uncomfortable. Especially as individuals and women who have leaned into people-pleasing for most of our lives, now releasing the things that we have been told we should do or how our life should look or what it means to show up as a good mom, a good wife, a good parent, a good co-parent, a good employee, a good entrepreneur, any of these things, we now have to release those ideas so that we can sit in this discomfort of doing less and focusing in on the things that are really going to move the needle in our life and the things that actually light us up. Because when we focus on those things, this crazy thing happens when we release all of the other shit that we've put on ourselves that we have to do, that we feel we need to do to be X, Y, and Z, to be the good girl, to be loved and accepted and of value. When we release those things, we get to feel energized. We aren't constantly feeling tired. We aren't constantly feeling overwhelmed. We aren't feeling anger and bitter or resentful towards other people. Instead, we get to feel excited and joyful and energized. And we can actually get more done because we're doing more of what we love. And that is the thing that so many of us are missing in this work of regulating our nervous systems or healing or whatever you want to call it. Is that we aren't leaning enough into releasing life, day-to-day things that aren't serving us. And some of these things we release for a time, and some of them we release for the long run. And I think about things that I encourage my clients to do, especially when they are in the thick of things, because most people are coming to me when they are making a big decision. They aren't concerned about the day-to-day small things. They have hit this huge monumental decision, and they need support in understanding that. Now, the more we can do this in our day-to-day life, where we are regulating, where we are making decisions for ourselves in a day-to-day fashion, in a moment-to-moment fashion, then we don't hit this need for extra support when we are going through a big decision, or maybe we need less support. But it really comes down to the day-to-day. It comes down to these little moments of making decisions. And so I want you to think about your day-to-day life. I'm going back to my clients. This is what I encourage them to do when they're in the midst of making big decisions. And this might be something you want to do, whether you're making a huge decision right now or not, is we do less and we scale back in so many ways. And some of this looks like, hey, I am going to do grocery pickup right now, or I am going to pay for somebody else to get my groceries, or I am going to do grocery delivery and I'm going to simplify my meals. They can still be healthy, they can still be whatever, but I'm going to keep them incredibly simple so that there is less processing that has to go through my body just to feed myself. And when women are like having bad weeks or bad days, I'm like, you know what? Let's lean into DoorDash or Uber Eats or whatever you want to use to get you that substance, to make it easy and doable for you. Let's take some of that load of just feeding our bodies off so that we are still feeding ourselves, because yes, we do need that. We need to have that nutrition and sustenance, but let's do it in a way that feels doable. Another thing could be like, what are you actually going to wear today? Stop putting on all of the things that you feel you have to because that's how you need to show up. Instead, dress in a way that actually feels good and doable. So often when I am working from home, I will dress on the top if I need to because I'm going to be on a video call, and embrace extreme comfort on the bottom down because I want to feel good. That feels doable. Sometimes I work from my bed, even though I know that is not recommended, because that is what feels doable, because that is how much my nervous system can embrace for the day. I might not feel like I can get out of bed, but you know what? I feel like I can do some work in bed. And if that is what feels doable and gets me to the next thing that I want to do, then I'm going to do that. And you know what I'm going to do alongside that? I'm going to take a nap when I need to. And I'm going to say, you know what? I need to get out of bed and go for a walk. And then I'm going to come back. But I am going to do the thing that feels doable. This goes back to like workouts. We take in so much information about workouts and what we should be doing and how we should be doing it. And oh my gosh, there's so much out there. And also, what if you just listened to what your body and soul needed that day? Maybe if instead of pushing it to do something that just feels totally undoable and out of like alignment with how you are feeling for the day, you embrace something that feels really, really good to you. And I get so much backlash on this and pushback from people who are like, yes, but we have goals and we got to do this and your body needs this to be healthy and and I'm like, I get that. But sometimes in that mindset, we aren't taking into account the whole human. We aren't taking into account how much trauma or drama or betrayal or whatever your body is carrying right now. We aren't taking that into account. And just as your body needs rest after you've pushed it physically, you also need rest when you have pushed it emotionally and spiritually and mentally. And we need to take that into account. It is okay to scale back for a day, for a week, for a month, for a year. I took like 5 years off of where I was still moving my body, but I was not pushing the same I used to push. And oh my gosh, I don't know if I'll ever go back there. I might. There might be a season for that for me. But I needed to give my body and soul space to heal and be seen and know that I was going to show up for it and give it this time for years. And people will be like, oh, but you gotta do this or you're gonna have, this thing happen years down the road. And I counter that with, if you aren't taking care of your body and its emotions and all of that right now, you are going to have to deal with that down the road in ways you didn't understand or expect because you thought you were just pushing through in taking care of your body, but you forgot about everything else that is coming up. It is okay to take what you need. And I'm not telling you to never move your body. I'm not telling you to eat crap every day. I'm not telling you to never get out of bed. I'm telling you to embrace what you need in the moment so that you can have more energy and feel better quicker. The more you do this, the more you lean into this idea that you are going to give your body, your soul, your emotional well-being the attention it deserves, the quicker it responds on the other side of that. The more quickly it is like, oh my gosh, I feel this. Thank you for giving me this rest. I feel safe enough to do this next thing. And that's what nervous system regulation really comes down to, is creating safety in every part of our body so that we can work together. And when I say every part of our body, I mean physically, like all parts of our health is what I'm talking about. Emotional, physical, spiritual, and mental health. It's not just one thing at a time. It is, how do we make it all doable enough that we can take care of it all at once, and then we can add in. But you have to be willing to release things along the way. If you go to this amazing somatic breathwork event, or to a sound bath, or to a beautiful yoga class where you are deeply connected to yourself, your body, your soul, your mind, you go spend a weekend at a retreat, like whatever it is, if you send yourself straight back into the same daily life you have that got you to this point where you are needing all of this regulation, you are not going to find what you need. You are not going to feel regulated. You're going to have a quick burst of feeling so good and feeling energized and feeling like, yes, this is doable. And I feel so regulated and in sync. And then within, I would bet 24 hours, 48 hours, you are going to be back feeling like, oh my gosh, I'm a mess. Why isn't this working? Why isn't the counseling? Why isn't the meditation? Why isn't yoga? Why isn't the supplements I'm taking? Why aren't these things working for me? It's because you aren't making different decisions. You have to choose to live life differently if you want to feel differently on a regular basis. And I really encourage you, first and foremost, if you haven't yet, take the should score quiz to see how much you are allowing like this should of how your life should look to show up in your life. And in that, you can kind of go through and personally identify where you are carrying this should. Like, where is this showing up in my life? Where is it biggest and loudest? Is it in religion? Is it in my relationship? Is it in my work? Is it in parenting? Where is it in your life? It's going to kind of give you some of that information too. And then second, I would really encourage you to go pick up my book, Shove Your Shoulds, and you can get that for free. You just pay shipping, because that is going to give you this starting point and insight to be like, oh my gosh, I need to take this action. This is why I keep feeling this way, is because I'm following this pattern. And I give you the tools in there to understand how to release these things, how to start showing up for yourself in a way that feels really amazing. It feels so good. And you can't understand or see that now because many of us are stuck when our nervous system is dysregulated. We are stuck in this thought pattern of, it's never going to get better. I can never get out of this. I have tried everything. And I hear that from women and I'm like, but have you tried doing less? Have you tried releasing some things in your life? And I had one woman who, she's dropped into my DMs for years and years and years, and she is still there. She's even purchased into programs, but she hasn't shown up to the programs. She hasn't read the book. She hasn't done the work. And she's like, but I love all of these things that I do, and there's nothing I can let go of. And yet in this process, she is losing relationships with her children. She is losing connection to herself. She is so tired and strung out and overwhelmed and suffering financially and physically because she won't release anything. There are good things in your life that you are carrying that are not serving you or your nervous system as well. And as you read my book, as you take that should score quiz, you are going to see how these things are popping up. And those links are down in the caption below, or you can go to shoveyourshoulds.com/free book to pick up the book. But we are carrying too much. We are trying to do too much. And our bodies and souls were not designed to carry all of this. But yeah, we just keep putting more and more on because, well, I like this and this is a good thing. And we justify all of it. But then we're still left wondering why our lives are falling apart and why our bodies are falling apart. And we don't get it and we don't understand. And we are unwilling to be wrong and to let go of our ego that tells us, no, to be good, I need to do all these things. And I would encourage you at this point, like as we're wrapping up this video, if you want to understand how your ego is playing into this, which none of us want to carry an ego because That's just not what we're supposed to do. And also our ego keeps us stuck in a life that isn't serving us. I'd encourage you to go watch this video right here. It is all about the second step of the decision-making process of how we can learn to be humble. And when we are humble, we get to be gentle with ourselves and we release that ego so that we can welcome in what is actually best for us. My friend, I understand there are so many things in your life that you feel you love doing, that you feel like you should do. Then I also promise you that when you start releasing those so that there is less going on in your life, so that you are carrying less of a mental and physical load, you are going to start feeling at peace and calm and deeply connected to yourself and the people who matter most to you. And when you do that, you get to show up differently. You get to show up in a way that serves those people around you and serves you. And then you can add in the things that you want to do and that feel best for you in a way and any time that is right for you. But right now you are stuck in this nervous system spiral. Those other things you are doing aren't working because you aren't making decisions that allow you to have peace and calm and rest in your everyday life. And it may take a month, it may take a year, it may take 5 years to feel some of that. And you know what? That doesn't mean you're not taking care of yourself or you're not doing enough along the way. It just means that you are embracing something that feels like you have never been able to feel or experience before. And trust me, it is beautiful, then it is healing, and it is amazing. So I invite you to do these things. I invite you to go watch this video right now. And I am sending you so much love, and I can't wait to talk to you again next time.